Okay. Almost done, guys. Just waiting for one more person. That's it. Is Uma here? Uma, are you taking your quiz?
Yeah, I am. If you didn't see my head nod. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, good. Perfect.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, while you're waiting, get Eclipse open. Okay, we should be nearly done. Coming up on the time limit. Okay, Uma, Henry, it's been more than 5 minutes.
I submitted mine. I'm done.
Okay.
I got like 30 seconds left. I'm just checking it.
Okay, I'm going to take roll really quickly while this is happening. Ian?
Here.
Alex, bye.
Here.
Alan?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Alan. Oh. The chosen one.
Here.
Uma Desai. Looks like she's flipping me off. Note to
What?
self. Note to self, don't hold your hand like this when you're in the camera, okay?
I was scratching my. Okay, fine.
The old Banos method of scratching your nose. I get it. Gata, where did our podcast master go?
Here.
There he is. Henry Graysick, you're here. Eleanor, hi, Eleanor. Hope you can see me. Lance, what's up, brah?
Yes.
Wolverine,
Here.
what's up? The second chosen one, where's my boy Dill?
Here.
What's up, Dill? Thanos and Getty Woo.
Here.
All right, okay, so quizzes were pretty decent. Let me see real quick. All right, so one thing I do want to tell you guys. Okay, so one, some of you guys are going to hate this, but it's just the way it is. You're going to have to live with it. On the last question, it specifically asked you guys to create a variable called int count, okay, and do not initialize it, all right, or an integer variable named count and don't initialize it. I don't remember the variable being called a. I don't remember the variable being called x. I don't remember somebody saying int x equals something. Okay, do not give me anything I don't ask you for. So if you initialized it, you got it wrong. If you named it something other than count, you got it wrong. The reason why you got it wrong is on the AP exam, you would get it wrong. Okay, so nice little learning point for you guys. All right. Now, if I'm nice, which I'm not, I will maybe consider going back and giving a half a point for those of you who failed to listen. Lance, But other than that, I will, Alan, I will let you guys go. All right. Okay. So I will think about it, but just giving you guys again, do not, and this should make your lives easier. Do not give me anything I don't ask for. Sound fair? Don't make your life harder than it has to be. All right, so that being said, what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to make a project. Now, specifically listen to what I'm saying. You name the project Strings with an S. Do not call it string, singular, because string exists. Okay, so go ahead right now. Take a second to call it Strings, just so you guys can see. I'm going to put it in the chat box too. You're going to call it Strings, and the project name, go ahead and call it Tester, okay? And go ahead and put the main method in there. By the way, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Thanos, can you guess what I went to? Where I went to? You know this from last year. Where did I go?
The club?
The club, baby.
It's Corona. Why are you going to the club?
I was at the club. I had pockets full of dubs.
Goodbye.
Did you say the Rona?
There's Corona. Why are you going to the club?
Well, because I needed to drink some Corona. So.
Oh my, Corona's gross. Okay.
All right, so let me share my. All right, here we go. Okay, so do me a favor and let me know if you guys can see this okay. Can you guys see this all right? Is it coming through clear? Okay. So Windows Show View. Console. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second. Okay, so let me go into kind of the lecture portion. Okay, so what we're going to be covering right now. Sorry, there we go. You guys to see my bed. All right, there you go. All right, so what we're going to be covering right now, guys, is something called strings. Now, as you guys probably read in the book, and as we've covered, or as I've covered with you guys, strings are a specific type of variable. Now, real quick, show of hands. Who here has a class right after this? Okay, good. In case I go over, okay, just in case I go over, I may go over. We cover strings is a lot. I can tell you right now, we're probably going to spend the next 2 to 3 days on it. Okay. Now, as I told you guys, string it's what we call an object. Okay. And an object contains methods. This is, I would say there's probably 4 to 5 parts of the string of strings that you're going to need to know. Okay. There's about 4 to 5 parts. And basically you'll I'm sorry, 4 to 5 subjects on the AP that are critical. Strings is number 1 right off the bat. So how many of you guys good with the project? Are you guys good with the tester class? Okay. I'm going to go grab guys, my throat is a little dry. I'm going to go grab some water. Unfortunately, I'm going to be lecturing for a little bit. So let me share my screen and we will get going. Let me go grab some water real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. All right, so with strings, okay? Now, let's take a look. So for example, I told you guys that a string builds dynamically, correct? And what I mean by that is a string will basically be as long as, or as large as your memory can support, okay? So if you've got 32 gigs of RAM, you can make a really, really long string, okay? Now, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so starting off, strings, okay? Now, very, very, very simple question, okay? I'm going to say string name equals Marty. Okay. All right. I feel that the best way to start off is creating a string with the name of arguably the greatest person on the planet. So that being said, I saw that, Lance. So string name equals Marty. Chosen one, I saw the smirk too. Okay. So that being said, so we have string name equals Marty. Okay. Gary, simple question. What do you notice that's different about string that is different from other variables? Very simple, not a trick question. Straight off the bat if you had to answer it. So I have string name equals Marty and I have int b equals 5. What do you notice is a difference in the two?
The quotations.
No. Even simpler than that.
Oh, that's capitalized.
Bingo. Take a look at that, guys. It's capitalized. String is capitalized. Also, what color is it not, Logan? What color is string and int are different colors, correct?
Yeah.
So Logan, int is a what? Starts with a K.
Keyword.
Keyword. String is not, okay? String is what we call, okay, strings are objects, okay? Objects are basically containers that hold things, all right? Now, string name equals Marty, okay? Now, with this, we can put, you know, Marty, hello, I can, okay, oh, what does that happen? Okay, guys, giving you a shortcut, okay? So I figured out, I knew this before, so I figured this out. If you guys don't want to do system.out print line, if you do sys out and then hit control space, it'll just write it out for you. So if you write SYSOUT and then hit control space, it'll finish the print line for you, okay? All right, so that being said, so if I print out name, again, we know that variables don't go in quotes. Marty, hello, great, okay? Now, strings, okay, are objects. And what do we mean by objects? Well, basically objects are classes. Classes have what we call methods. For those of you who've programmed in other languages, you know these as functions. And there are all of these methods. Now, the string class has 62 different methods. The AP requires you to know about 5 to 6. For me, you're going to need to know 14 of them. Okay. Now, we're not going to cover all 14 today. Okay. We don't have the time. We're not going to do it. But again, this is why we practice. And again, you're going to learn these 14 because these 14 are they're very common to other programming languages. And again, I don't teach you to the test. You guys are going to learn to be good programmers. So let's start off with the bare basics. How do I find these variables? So let's take a look at this. So I'm going to bring this up. Int b equals 6. Now, int is a what type of variable, Dylan? It starts with a P.
A primitive one?
Primitive variable. And if you remember, what did I say about primitive variables? What is the only thing they can do?
They can only store like a number or like a letter.
Bingo. They can only store a number or a letter. They can only do one thing, okay? Now, in Java, we have symbols that can do multiple things. So for example, we've already seen a symbol that does multiple things. Let's see, Alan, right off the bat, mathematically, what does that do?
It's likely.
No, what's the plus sign do mathematically?
Positive.
It adds. This is the addition sign.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Mathematically, this is the addition sign, but Thanos, where have we also used the plus sign?
Connotation.
Concatenation. Okay, so exactly. So combining. So now we have another thing, the period. Period grammatically does what, chosen one? Grammatically, what do we use a period for?
To end the sentence.
And mathematically, we use it to represent a
Decimal point.
decimal point. Bingo. Don't worry, just spit it out there, okay? But in Java, this actually has a term, okay? So in Java and in C++, the period is what we call the dot operator. The dot operator allows us to call on the hidden things that are in Java. So for example, again, I said int b equals 6, okay? If I say b dot, nothing happens because it's a primitive. All it does can hold a number. There's nothing special about it. But take a look at, we have name. If I say name dot, take a look what happens. These are all methods that can do something in Java, okay? Now, basically what has happened is this. String is its own class. This is a form of protection. Java doesn't want you screwing around with string. String has 62 methods, okay? So what they do is they allow you to clone the string class as an object called name. Name will then inherit everything. So for example, let's say I said string name, and then I said string new name equals Marty, okay? New name has its own set of methods. Name has its own set of methods. They do not interact. One does not know the other exists. They're not combined. They don't share. That's the key thing you guys have to realize. They get their own set of methods. Do we understand that? Okay, so we're going to go back to working with name. And let's start off. So we have the dot operator, the first method. Now again, let's describe what a method is. A method is basically a subprogram. Okay? It is a predefined program that we run that allows us to do certain things. Okay? So, first one. So let's say I want to find the length of my string. Okay, now I've already, what is this term? If I just say string name, what's that term called? What is that called? What is that process called? String name.
Initialization.
Nope, other one.
Declaration.
Oh,
Declaring.
Declaration. Oh.
Declaration. Name equals Marty hello is, that is what? Initialization, okay? So I've already declared it. I don't need to say string anymore. So length. Let's say I want to find out how long my string is. Okay, how many characters it is. What I can do is I'm going to just put it out. There's a couple of ways that we can do it. Okay, inside my parentheses, just so you can see, I can say name dot length, and in parentheses, or that's it, name dot length. Okay, I'm thinking of Python. Name dot length. So if I run this now, oops, let me move that out of the way. 11. Name dot length 11. So what this does is it doesn't matter what I put in here, this will count the characters. Okay, so this is called dot length. Okay, the dot length method. All right, and this counts characters. Now the key thing that you have to realize is that this spits back a number. Okay, I can store this number and use it mathematically. Okay, now what type of variable would we probably use? Ian, what type of variable do you think we would use to store letters in a name?
Wait, letters and name?
So this spits back the number of letters in name. Okay.
Oh,
What do you think would be a good variable to store that amount?
in an int or long?
An int, okay? Don't get out of using long unless it's
All right.
specifically told, okay? An integer. Thanos, why not a double? Why wouldn't it make sense to use a double?
There's no decimal.
There's no decimal. Now, could I use a double?
Yeah.
Yes, but does it make sense? Is there a possibility of ever having half a letter?
No.
No. Okay, so I can also do this. Int len equals name.length. Okay, oops. And I run this. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print out len. So what I've done is I've created a variable. I've stored the letter length in it. Okay, and then I can use it anywhere I want. All right, it spits dot length. It counts the characters, spits back an integer. All right, now can I use it in a double? Yes. Can I use it as an int? Yes. Okay, that's generally, what's it called? That's basically the use of it. So again, it's the dot length method. All right, so let me just do this. Now, who here has never programmed Java before? Who in here has never programmed in Java? All of you have programmed Java? Chosen, you've done Java before?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate all of you. All right. God, well, there goes that freaking question. All right. Okay, so Uma. Okay, take a look at, we're going to do this method, okay? Believe it or not, this one is actually tested and I've seen it on the AP, okay? This method here, name dot to uppercase, okay? Dot to uppercase. What do you think this does?
It makes. Would it like make name like uppercase?
Exactly, very good. I know the name was confusing.
You're so mean. I'm done. I don't want to be here.
Okay. Okay, now let's say, so this one is called the dot to uppercase method. Okay, notice that we have when we are using parentheses. Okay, when we are using parentheses, open and close parentheses, this represents the use of a method. Okay, this capitalizes everything. Okay, that being said, so if this one capitalizes everything, what do you think dot to lowercase does? Alan, this is a tough one. Alan, what do you think it does?
Just put our letter in the lowercase.
It puts everything lowercase. So if I say name dot to lowercase, and boom, yay. Now the thing that you guys also have to realize is just like with length, you see how length gets spit back and we can store it into an integer? What do you think what type of variable do you think these are spitting back? What type of variable do you think these are spitting back?
String.
Strings, okay? So for example, I can say string z equals, and then I can just command X, command V, and I can just print out X. I'm sorry, cancel, Z. Yay, okay. So it stores that, all right? So length counts the characters. To uppercase, to lowercase basically just changes the whole thing. Now, it only changes it. It only changes it temporarily. Notice that Marty is capitalized, correct? If I print out immediately after it, if I print out name, notice that it is still capitalized. when you are calling on these methods, it is not overriding the value. Okay? Make sure you realize that. It is not overriding the value at all. Okay? All right? So we have length, 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase. All right, what I want you guys to do right now, take a 5-minute break. Because of the screen time, every 30 minutes, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Sound good? All right, get your eyes off the camera. Guys, hey Siri, set timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes and counting.
All right, when you hear Siri's voice, come on back, guys, okay? All right, come back, guys. Did you miss me? With every bullet. I hate my life. All right, so here we go. All right, so let me share my screen. All right. Okay, so we've already gone through the three. So we have dot length, we have dot two uppercase, we have dot two lowercase. The other thing that we also have is the other thing that we need to do is the dot operator, knowing that. So now the next thing, okay, we have, okay, let's really quickly, let's go through, okay? Let's go through strings, exactly what they are, okay? So Marty, hello, all right? We're looking at this string right here. So Marty, hello, we have a length. Let's just shorten this to Marty, okay? How many characters is this? Who can tell me?
5.
This is 5 characters, okay? So we have the M, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, okay? Now, when we're looking on the surface, when we're just looking at the length, it's okay to count them. But in computer science and in the back end with binary terms, we actually use things called indices, okay? Or an index value. Every character basically takes up a box. So imagine that this is just 5 individual containers. Every container has its own index value. Index values start at 0. Okay, now the lowest value will always be 0. The highest value will always be length minus 1. Okay, highest value will always be length minus 1. So if this is 5, the lowest value is 0, what's the highest index value?
4.
4. So for example, by, what is the third letter?
R.
Bingo. But Ian, what's in the third index?
T.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ian. You suddenly turned into Alex By. So, so, okay, that's the key thing that you have to remember. Now, this method that we're going to learn right now uses indices. Okay. And this is what we call substring. Now, to this point, the parentheses have been open and closed. There hasn't been anything in them, okay? We are actually going to now start putting rules into these parentheses. Now, inside the parentheses are what we call parameters, basically rules for how the method is going to be run. So let's say, for example, we're going to do substring with 1 parameter. So if I say sysout and I say name dot substring 2, substring. What substring does is it changes the starting index value. Okay, it changes the starting index value. By default, the starting index value is 0. When I run this, notice I get RTY. It changes the starting index from 0, 1, now it's 2, and it prints everything out. Okay, so substring with 1 parameter, 1, that's all it does. It changes the starting index. Okay, so if I'm printing out name, technically, let's say that I'm doing this, okay? Let's say I just print out the name, Marty. Technically, what you're also doing is you're also doing this, substring 0. Technically, that's what you're doing. But the minute that I change this to 2, I have a new starting index value. Okay. Now, the second one is going to be this method will probably be one of the most used methods that we use all year long. Okay. Substring with 2 parameters. Okay, so let's say I say 2, 3. Okay, oh, sorry. Name dot substring 2, 3. Okay. What this does is it changes the starting point and the end point. Okay. So, but there's something that's different. Okay. Actually, we'll go 2 to 5 or 4. Sorry, 2 to 4. Okay. What do you think this is going to print out? What do you,
RTY.
You would think it's RTY, but all that prints out is RT. Okay. The reason why so from here with 1 parameter, it is inclusive of the second index and just spits everything out. But when you have dot substring 2, 4, okay, it is inclusive to exclusive. So 2, 3, 4, exclusive of 4. So this just prints out RT. So for example, let's just say I wanted you to print out just the A in string. What would I do? The index of A is what? What value is the index of A?
1.
1. Okay, and I want it just to be that. I told you use substring to just print out that single letter. 1 to 2. So it goes 1, 2, exclusive of 2. So if I run this now, I just get A. But Lance, take a look at this. 1, 5. 1, 5. Do I have anything? What's the highest index value that I currently have?
4.
4. But I said 5. It still works. The reason why 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 exclusive of 5. Is there still text here? Yes. So you are allowed to go 1 over. However, let's say I say 6 and I run it. I'm going to get a specific type of error. Okay? You don't need to know the string part, okay? But you do need to know that this error is called an index out of bounds error. Okay? So this is an index out of bounds exception error. You need to know this for the exam as well, okay? It's a string index out of bounds exception error, okay? And basically what this means is you have tried to call on an index value in a string that's out of range. That's basically it. Can we have negative numbers in a string? No, there's no such thing as negative letters or numbers, okay, or in terms of that, okay? But we can go over as well. And when you do that, basically that means, okay, and when we get into loops and stuff like that, this will be a common error that you get because maybe you've exceeded the number of items that you have. So index out of bounds exception error, okay? You will need to know this, specifically this name, all right? So name.substring16, but again, let me copy this again. This one, however, when I change it back to 5, this one is all good, okay? Let me actually, yeah, so, all right, let me get rid of this real quick. And boom, we're good again, okay? So system.out.println lines name.substring2, system.println name.substring1-5. All right? Now, this is where we are going to stop for today, okay? Again, let's just review one more time everything. String is a special type of variable. It's an object. It contains methods, all right? The length on the surface is just all the characters or anything like that. Now, also remember, when you're counting the length, spaces count. Spaces count, okay? When you are counting the index. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The space counts. The space occupies index 5, okay? Everything counts. So we have the length, which just counts everything in the string. We have .2 uppercase. We have .2 lowercase. Those ones should be easy. If I give you guys a quiz question, how many of you guys can read? I'm gonna just go ahead and say all of you guys can somewhat read, okay? Alex doesn't have his hands up. That kind of frightens me a little bit. But if Alex does know how to read, I'm assuming that if I told him .2 uppercase, he would know that it tells you to capitalize. Guys, the cool thing about the methods is they kind of tell you exactly what they're there for. Length is to give you the length. 2 uppercase capitalizes. 2 lowercase. The only one that can be confusing again is substring. Now, substring with 1 parameter and substring with 2 parameters, you have to understand they are not the same method. They are 2 different methods. Okay? So substring with 1 parameter changes the starting index value and spits everything out. Substring with 2 parameters changes the starting index and the ending index from inclusive to exclusive. Okay, that's kind of split. Usually, like, this is where I like to lecture because I can show you guys like a mathematical number line. Inclusive being a filled in circle to exclusive being a hollow circle. Okay, so, and then last thing is, what's the name of the error that we need to know?
Index out of bounds exception.
Bingo, the string index out of bounds exception. You will need to, there's going to be about 6 to 7 errors that we're actually going to need to know. All right. So that being said, your homework will be online at about 9 a.m. Basically, you guys have learned enough. I want you guys to read chapter 3. Read chapter 3. Just go through it again, okay, as a refresher. You're going to do questions basically 1 through 12, evens only, okay? Now, some of you, again, let me repeat this. Some of you guys have put the question, some of you guys have put the questions into a Word document. Don't do that. Just type the questions into a submission box. It makes it a lot easier for me to grade. Also, go slow. Also, be on time. Okay, in this class and the other class, and a couple more, if you're late on your homework, I'm going to dock you. So for homework, every day you're late, you're losing a point instantly. Okay? Like for quizzes, obviously, I'm going to dock you 10%. Now, the other thing that you need to do, you guys, this is also going to be part of your homework assignment. I'm going to just put this up in the announcements, but it's basically, you got to do this. Okay? You have to sign up on the AP College Board website. You have to go to AP Classroom and you have to sign up for the AP. I am going to be checking with Mr. Burnett. You need to do this by Wednesday. This will be a participation grade. So by Wednesday, you need to have gone on to AP Classroom. If you are having issues with it, contact Mr. Burnett. He will walk you through. We got sent a document from Mr. Burnett that goes kind of through it. On the announcements, I'm going to add that document to help you walk through. Freshmen in general, this is basically going to be tough for you. Everyone else who had me or who's at APs, you guys know the process, you know what to do. The other thing, last year we used a program called Adhesive, okay? Adhesive has an APA curriculum. I will rarely use it. I'm not going to use it too much, okay? But what you're going to need to do is you still need to sign up, because when it does come time for preparation, they have full-length AP exams. We will take advantage of those, okay? Not to mention that usually it's about $60 a student. Amazon gave it to us for free. So I'm going to be putting on the Adhesive token online. You guys will need to start signing up for that as well. Sound good? All right, so I'm going to stay for about 2 or 3 more minutes after class. I'm going to stop recording right now.